Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to look at the latest on the very cold spell that we do have gripping most of the country at the moment. We are going to see widely extremely cold temperatures last all the way until the weekend, and there is the risk over the next couple of days that we do see some quite significant snow, especially further northwards. So have a look at the latest from the weather warnings, as we have got extensive yellow warnings issued until the latter part of the week, and I'll explain why I think there is scope to see even an amber warning issued perhaps tomorrow. And then we'll have a look at some of the short range runs like the UKV, Arpegge and Icon, just to pinpoint those areas of interest for snowfall in the next couple of days. And then of course we'll have a look at the longer range, because as we have alluded to over the past couple of videos, it is looking highly likely that the colder air is going to get swept away through the weekend. But we hadn't really quite got pinpointed how it was going to get swept away. Now, typically when we see a cold spell, there is the risk of some frontal snow as the milder air does push in, and that looks possible in the north, but that isn't the main headline for what we could be seeing as we head into the weekend. It looks like the jet stream is going to activate significantly towards the latter part of the week, and actually there is the risk that we actually see some severely stormy weather appearing, and especially the GFS today has the risk of one or even two named storms arriving through the weekend and into the start of the following week. And of course, with the jet stream still slightly tracking further southwards, these aren't storms that are going to skirt Scotland. They could actually smash parts of England and Wales at 70, 80 or 90 mile per hour gusts. So it does look like there is a real scope for disruption in the south, not from snow like we thought could have happened a couple of days ago or even a week ago, but perhaps from extremely strong winds. Now have a look at that, said in detail in the second half of the video. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, which you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in description. Now if you start on the live radar, you can see where we have had areas of interest throughout today for snowfall. That has mainly been convective showers, so it has been very hit and miss, but the main areas are across parts of North Wales, into parts of South Wales, into the southwest of England, a few showers drifting around, nothing too significant, but perhaps some slight areas of snowfall there. Down the far east coast, really only skirting East Anglia. You see most of the showers are now offshore. That's because the wind direction is slightly changing, which will bring more significant snow through tomorrow. That's why most of these showers now are further offshore. Got snow showers still coming into parts of Northern Ireland here, and again, heavy in places, giving covering, and still got snow showers packing into the northwest of Scotland. You can see though that the wind is shifting to more of a northwesterly, and this is because we have got an area of low pressure that is just developing. It's a short wave, a very small area of low pressure that normally we wouldn't think anything of. We'd think a couple of hours of rain into tomorrow, but of course, because it is extremely cold, that rain is likely to fall as snow in many areas. Now, because it is forming with some slightly milder air wrapped within it, it is of course going to have some quite intense precipitation, but it does bring the risk of seeing a bit of mixing perhaps into tomorrow. So there is a chance that some areas could see freezing rain, could see some sleet, and could even see a little bit of a rain right to low-lying areas, perhaps on the coast. So it'll be a bit more mixing tomorrow, so it's not all going to be exclusively snow, but most inland areas with any elevation are going to see primarily snow, and we could see 5 to 10 centimetres across large swathes of Scotland and perhaps to the far north of England. And that's on top of what has already fallen throughout the past 24 hours. Now, if you look at the temperatures, it is bitterly cold. I said a few days ago, we've got a few lighter blues around, but they would be dominating, and you can see already they are dominating. And it's only 7:30 as I'm recording this. Temperatures are going to plummet even further. You can even see some pinks appearing over the highlands of Scotland. That's temperatures getting down into the minus double digits, and there is even possible further southwards as well. But yeah, widely down towards sort of -5 degrees tonight. Absolutely frigid out there, as we have got that bitterly cold air in. Also, if we just check out the past 24-hour snowfall, we'll be able to see where the main areas have been, and as expected, Northern Ireland, parts of North Wales into South Wales, the far edge of East Anglia, actually a bit of North East England, and then mainly across parts of Northern Scotland, where we've seen accumulations 20 to 30 centimetres. So some areas have seen significant snow just not quite as widespread as we thought this time last week. And of course, we could see a bit of snow along the south coast maybe into Wednesday, but at this stage, not expecting anything significant, maybe a dusting at most. Now, if we do look at the latest weather warnings, you can see we've got widespread warnings still issued. Got a warning across the East Anglia expires tonight. You saw on the past 24-hour precipitation. There has been some snow there, and again, a few centimetres of snow, but it looks like because the wind direction is shifting, we're unlikely to see anything too significant from now on. If you do have a look at the other warnings, Northern Ireland warning expires at 11 a.m. tomorrow, and again, generally just for showers moving in, again, a few centimetres possible. Again, we've looked at these warnings extensively as they have been issued since Friday. And then a snow warning issued across the far north of Scotland. Again, frequent snow showers packing in, and again, ending at midnight tonight. But all these warnings that are getting ended are going to be replaced by a larger warning tomorrow, and you can see why there is quite an extensive risk of heavy snow, pretty much covering half of the United Kingdom here. And again, I know there'll be plenty of people in the south being disappointed by not seeing some snow, but significant snow is around. It just hasn't quite fallen further southwards like we thought last week, and instead low convective systems, low pressure systems have developed in the flow, are going to be impacting further northwards. So already I have seen people saying this is a bit of a disappointment of a cold spell, and yes, maybe where you are locally, you've not seen the snow you've wanted to see, and you're not likely to see the snow you wanted to see. You can't say it's not a significant snow spell, a cold spell at all, because some areas are seeing an absolute dumping and will see a dumping over the next couple of days. Now, these are the areas where I think there could be an amber warning issued across parts of central, southern Scotland into northern England. Now, we'll start with the Northern Ireland warning. Again, expires at 11 a.m. That's a continuation of the one yesterday. Again, I'm surprised it's not been extended further into the afternoon, as we are going to see more snow track nearby. Again, uncertain exactly how much will impact Northern Ireland, but it will be close by. And then we've got this widespread warning again for the full 24 hours. Again, I'm surprised it's not been more regionalised because we are going to see multiple areas of snow move through. See some mixing. And again, you see further snow showers perhaps merging into longer spells of snow. Again, we're looking at 2 to 5 centimetres. Really anywhere in this warning zone. And perhaps a chance of 5 to 10 centimetres, maybe as much as 20 centimetres possible as well. You can also see that it is medium impact and has a low likelihood, so it's only one box away from getting into an amber warning zone. And I do think it is because there is quite a lot of discrepancy between the models in terms of intensities, but from what I've seen, definitely could be some significant snow around tomorrow. Typically, I have found this over the years looking at the models, sometimes the biggest snow dumps you get from when you only have a yellow warning because of the uncertainty that there is. So we will just have to see what happens tomorrow, but some areas across especially southern Scotland and northern England could see a lot of snow, and then of course the Highlands of Scotland are going to see a lot as well, but that is not too unusual this time of year. And then as we progress into Thursday, we've still got, into Wednesday, so we've still got widespread warnings issued. We've got another warning issued for Northern England, again until midday. And again, that's the remnants of that low pressure system that does move in. Again, could see a couple of centimetres of snow, maybe as much as 5 centimetres. As I said here, low-lying areas could see sleet or very wet snow, but no settling again. Risk of the dew points rising slightly, meaning the snows become very wet and temperatures may be nudging slightly above freezing. But again, it's going to be one of those where it's very marginal, it's impossible to say, because a degree or two, which is in the margin of uncertainty, is going to make all the difference. Again, high impact or medium impact, low likelihood. An ice warning issued here because following the risk of sleet and snow, we're going to see massive ice risk as it is all going to absolutely freeze on the back edge of the low pressure system. So yes, could be a lot of ice around, a lot of snow in these areas. And then as we progress across to Northern Scotland, Northern Ireland again, we see another big widespread warning. As the wind veers northerly again, those snow showers are going to come packing back in. And again, we could see an additional 5 to 10 centimetres, and maybe as much as 15 to 20 centimetres on top of that. And again, it is all just accumulating, and some of these regions are looking like 50, 60 centimetres of snow. Again, most likely going to be rural, higher ground, but nevertheless, it is significant totals. And then if we look at Thursday, still widespread snow and ice warning issued further northwards. Again, for the full 24 hours. Again, could see more centimetres of snow, 15 to 20 centimetres of snow possible. And then again, 10 to 15 centimetres overall in parts of Northern Ireland. And then a further snow and ice warning, again, for snow showers packing into North Wales and northern and northwest England through the full 24 hours of Thursday. Again, could be a few centimetres of snow, but not expecting anything too significant at this stage. It is still a number of days away, so we'll keep you updated on the risks there. So do have a look at the latest UKV there, and you can see showers continue to move in through this evening, and there is the risk as the wind veers more northwesterly that we could see actually a spell of quite heavy showers moving in from northwest England, Wales, and even into parts of the Midlands, stretching all the way into eastern England perhaps for a time. So it could be a little bit of falling snow through the early hours of the morning. Do keep an eye out for that. But you can see our first area of significant snow moving in for Northern Ireland and southern Scotland into northern England there, giving widespread heavy snow initially, but could be a bit of mixing as the day progresses. And then we see another area of snow move in. Showers there across northwest England. Again, could be some mixing because there is a slight wedge of milder air, and then more heavier snow packs into central Scotland there. Again, could see 5 to 10 centimetres from that alone. And then the snow showers continue to push in, and then as we head into Wednesday, could see this area of rain skirt the south coast. And if it does move inland, it would fall as snow, high chance it falls as snow. But again, the most intense stuff does look likely to stay offshore, but is one to watch still. Snow showers continue to pack in through Wednesday, and again we go back to that northerly wind and could be lots of heavy snow around in those prone areas. And then again, snow showers continue to move in and could again see some snow showers drift further inland through Friday. But then as we head into the weekend, you can see the cold spell wraps up as the westerly winds push back in. Could see some transient snow, but for most it is going to be mild, wet, windy, and potentially very stormy as well. If we do just have a look at the snow depth, you can see that by the end of the week, we could actually see quite a widespread 5 to 10 centimetres across much of northern England there to the early hours of Friday. And you can see these streaks pushing inland, which gives the indication that the UKV has some quite strong snow showers moving through that could give a dusting. Again, nothing disruptive, nothing significant, but if you are perhaps further inland, not right near the coast, or not within sort of 10 to 20 miles of the coast, and you're looking like you're not going to see much snow, then there is the possibility at times for these showers to really push in. But again, unlucky if you are further southwards and eastwards. By the early hours of Friday, you can see the UKV has a lot of snow for the north and west, but the further southwards and eastwards you go, it nears to almost nothing. Fortunately, that is what we get when we get a northerly wind and we don't get any sort of low pressure systems developing further southwards. Just how these things go, unfortunately, if you are looking for snow. But of course, if you do not like snow and you really hoped that this cold spell stay away from you, then it's a good thing further southwards, because we are unlikely to see anything too disruptive over the coming days. Now, if you look at the max temperatures, overnight going to be bitterly cold, widely down to sort of -2 to -5 degrees. Tomorrow afternoon could just about nudge a 3 or 4. Today we actually did see ice days for many, some only nudging to 1 or 2, so slightly milder tomorrow, but still frigid out there, still well below average and still feeling like we're in the Arctic. As we progress into Tuesday night, again widely below freezing, but could be slightly milder for some northern areas as we have that wedge of milder air, but it is still going to be close towards freezing for most. Into Wednesday afternoon could be close to ice day again for many areas, 0, 1, 2 degrees, and further northwards we've got snowpack, and over the higher ground might get much above -2 or -3, and some highlands of Scotland there not getting above -6 or 7, absolutely freezing indeed. And then into Thursday, widespread frost again overnight, could see -5 to -10 degrees, even as far as southern England. That is pretty ridiculous indeed. And then as we progress into Thursday afternoon, again, could be close to an ice day in many areas, 1 or 2 degrees at best. And then Friday, another widespread frost, and again, really cold, 1 or 2 degrees at best, maybe 3 or 4 further south and westwards. Then another harsh frost into Saturday morning before the milder air slowly sweeps in, and you can see it is still a chilly day, but temperatures starting to rise, maybe even just about getting to the double digits somewhere across southwest England. Now, if you compare to the arpege, again, you can see the snow showers continue to pile in over the coming hours. Those other areas of snow moving in over the course of this evening into tomorrow morning, through much of tomorrow into Wednesday as well. And then there's some snow perhaps skimming the far south, and then the showers continue packing in. But broadly, it is very similar to the UKV, and any small discrepancies aren't too significant. And again, it's going to be very much a nowcast situation. Again, it's just interesting to see through Thursday into Friday, potentially some of those showers pushing further inland. That is one to watch for later this week, before eventually all getting swept away as the westerlies get unleashed. Very similar on the DWD icon. Again, snow showers continue to move in. Heavier snow further northwards for a time through much of tomorrow. Mostly falling the snow here from the icon run. Again, could be quite significant accumulations. Again, could see some winteriness skirting the south coast. And then elsewhere, just generally showers packing back in as that wind veers straight northerly again. And then again, could see some more showers pushing further inland through Thursday into Friday before it all starts to wind down into the weekend. Again, if we look at the snow depths, you can see a little bit less optimistic for those snow depths than the UKV, but nevertheless still showing similar areas for that significant snow. Now, of course, this is only the sort of next 3 or 4 days. We've got to look at the longer term, and as I said, it's the weekend in the sort of the 7 to 10 day time frame could be further disruptive weather. From the opposite sort of conditions to cold and snow, it's going to be wet and windy, potentially severely windy as well, with named storms looking very possible from the latest GFS. And you can see, if we run through the coming days, we know exactly what the flow is going to be like. Northerly wind, very northwesterly at times, before eventually westerlies come in by the weekend. And now here, it looks like an ordinary flat westerly, unsettled, bit windy, bit wet, but nothing too crazy. But watch this low get gathered by the jet, and you see it spins up rapidly into a very deep area of low pressure by Sunday and could give winds 80-90 miles per hour. We'll have a look at those in detail in a minute. But not only do we see one storm system, as we head into Tuesday, another severe storm system that tracks slightly further northwards through Scotland, and this could bring even further disruptive conditions and potentially even more widespread as well, with those isobars extremely tight from Scotland all the way to southern England. That would be a real wild system, and that sort of pattern tries to continue into the longer range, but doesn't look like we'll get as much of a direct hit from any of the other subsequent storms. And we do actually see hints of high pressure building towards Scandinavia. Could give some very warm conditions for Scandinavia for a time, but we do see that ridging. But it could start to develop some blocking and potentially the risk of something a bit colder as we progress towards the latter part of January, early February, but tentative signs at this stage. As I said, if we do look at the short range of the wind gusts, if we head to the weekend, you can see it is going gusty as low pressure comes back in off the Atlantic. That's expected. Then look at this storm system. Very severe winds. Again, we're looking at 80-90 mile per hour wind gusts as this system progresses through. And then not only does that system move through, into Tuesday we see 80, 90 or even 100 mile per hour wind gusts move through, but from the top of Scotland all the way to the bottom of England. Widespread severe conditions. Again, would likely see widespread yellow, even amber, and potentially even red warnings if this pattern came off. And this is in only 7 or 8 days, and the first system is only in 5 or 6 days. Again, it will be fascinating to see over the next day or two if the UKV and some of the other high resolution models pick up on this, as then interest would really ramp up watching this system, because while it's still in the GFS and primarily only the GFS producing something severe, then we can still say there is some scepticism. I think the UK Met Office run did go for it earlier, again, so there is some support for it, but until all runs are on board and until it comes into the short-term time frame, into the sort of 5-day time frame, I don't think we're going to be looking at this with too much concern until we see those UKV charts or high-res charts start to show something similar. But that is something we'll find out tomorrow. If we do find that out tomorrow, then the warnings, I'm sure, will soon come and follow that. If you look at the GM, see what that does over the coming days. Again, northwesterlies and northerly winds continue to dominate over the coming days. Westerly winds unleashed, and you see into the weekend we do go unsettled, but that storm system never develops on Sunday. Into Tuesday we do see unsettled conditions, and you can see a reasonably strong area of low pressure there, but really only down to 975 millibars towards the centre of the low, so more of a standard gusty low pressure system. Maybe yellow warnings for wind, but I wouldn't suggest a named storm. So you can already see the GM is at odds with the GFS come the weekend and early next week. And then generally pretty similar, high pressure ridging towards Scandinavia, but strong low pressure towards the south of Greenland, trying to drive westerlies in, but high pressure trying to build and potentially turn us settled again. That'll be a little bit of a battle through the end of January. And finally, if we look at the latest ECMWF, it looks bitterly cold and doesn't look like we'll see anything milder for the foreseeable future, but unfortunately milder air is coming back, and you see it does go unsettled into the weekend. Again, does go pretty unsettled with wind and rain, but nowhere near as stormy as the GFS. And again, we do see that storm system move through on Tuesday, but similar to the GM, maybe 975 or 980 millibars towards the centre of the low, not 950 or 960 like the GFS was showing. And if we finish by looking at latest ensembles, again, very cold over the coming days, but turning milder, looking average to above average for the last week of January, with plenty of rain around initially, but definitely tentative signs towards the last 3 or 4 days of January that it will be turning drier. If you do look at the sea level pressure, you can see this dip into the weekend, and that could be when that storm system moves through, and you can see that on the winds. Definitely big pickup in sustained winds here. We're very interested to see, as said, those runs in the coming days. You can see the stark difference in temperatures, hardly getting above freezing throughout the next 4 days, and then up to 10 degrees by Monday or Tuesday, and similar on the dew points, down as low as -10 in the coming days, and then as high as +10 in around a week's time. And finally, if we look at the ECMWF ensembles, look at the midnight run, as that's just the midday run hasn't come out. Again, frigid over the coming days, milder, generally looking average to above average, going stormy for a while before it does look like towards the end of the month it is still looking like above average upper air temperatures, but it does look like it will settle down. So high pressure building in, and that means we could see cooler or cold weather return in the form of an inversion, a high pressure inversion, and there is even scope that we could see that develop into some substantive blocking as we head into the latter part of the month or early February, but that is just tentative signs at this stage. And of course, we've got to get through the next sort of week or so of potentially disruptive weather, and then we'll start thinking about what happens then. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Make sure you stay safe and keep up to date with the warnings, because not only have we got lots of snow and ice around, but into the weekend, it starts next week, there is the risk of some severely stormy weather. So we will just have to see how it does play out. But as I said, could be quite a lot of disruption over the coming days. So do keep aware of the videos and of course of the main weather warnings as well. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.